Welcome, parents, to the end of the first quarter progress check. My name's Tad. I'm the language arts teacher here at River City Academy. And the student that you have is in level 8. And so what I'm going to do is show you everything we've accomplished in class so far this quarter. And hopefully the progress of your student matches the progress that we've made so far in class. So the first thing you want to do is go into Empower, and you want to find the level 8 tile that belongs to your student. It's the Charlie Brown tile, and it's labeled ELA 8, and all you do is scroll over it and click on it, and it opens up. Now, the particular student we're looking at here is just an imaginary student that I made. It's a perfect student. This student has done, hypothetically, everything that I've assigned in class, and we're hoping that your student can at least match at least parts of what the perfect student has. So we're going to go through the 4 different areas of writing, the 4 different areas of language arts, one by one, and I'm going to show you what students should have accomplished in each of those 4 areas. So let's start with reading. If I scroll over the reading tile and click on it, all the assignments that we're going to have for the entire school year are in here, and I'm going to show you which ones your student should have accomplished by now. First of all, let's scroll down to the bottom because that's where the book reports are. All right, you can see there's going to be 5 books that the student has to read to get out of this level. We just finished reading a book with them. It was a book called I Am Malala, and it was a biography about a little girl who lives in Afghanistan and ends up winning the Nobel Peace Prize for standing up for girls' education in the Muslim world. Anyway, we finished that book. The kids were assigned the book report for it, and they should have completed that and got it turned in. And if they did, a star will show up saying that it's done. This may be a good place to interject what these different icons mean. The star is obviously a good one. It means it's completed, they turned it in, it was at least proficient, and they don't have to do that tile again. The tile is behind them. Other icons that could appear in this upper right hand corner is this one right here, which is a student sitting at a desk working. That means we haven't addressed that standard yet. Students are still working on it, and it's not expected to have been turned in yet. Another icon you might see is a late clock. That is a bad icon to see on your student's portfolio. That means that it was something that was assigned and the student did not turn it in, and it is late. So late clocks you don't want to see. If you do see those, you should ask the student about it and have them get that assignment to me as soon as possible. There's another one that you might see. It's an envelope that looks like it's sailing through the air. And if you see that, it simply means that the student has turned the assignment in, but I have not yet had a chance to grade it or put it into Empower. So, stars are good, late clocks are bad, the student at the desk means we haven't addressed it yet, and the mail means that it's been turned in but hasn't been put in yet. So we're looking for 1 star on the 5 book reports, at least 1. And just a side note, we're probably not going to be able to read 5 books together in class, so for the student to complete all these book reports, they're probably going to have to read a book independently, at least 1, or maybe 2 books independently at home. So you might want to make sure your student has something that they're reading at home, a level appropriate book that they're reading, so that they can bump up these book reports and make sure they have 5 by May. All right, let's go to the top. These are some of the reading standards that I've assigned based on the Malala book that we read. So theme should be done, should have a star on it. If it doesn't, they need to get that work into me. Objective summary for fiction we can't do because Malala was a nonfiction book, so that one's just going to have a working on icon, and that's okay. Objective summary for nonfiction, however, should be done. Malala was nonfiction, they were assigned that standard, and it should have a star. Dialogue and incidents is also a reading standard that we did based on Malala, and it should have a star, it should be done. So check on that. All these others we have not addressed yet. So we're looking for 3 stars in the top row, theme, objective summary, dialogue, and incidents, and we're looking for 1 star on the book report. And that's what they should have done in reading. So to go back in Empower, you use this folder up arrow, and if you click on that, it goes back to the main 4 areas that you can look at. So now let's take a peek at writing. So I'll click on writing, and if we look in writing, we can see that we've only had 1 writing assignment so far this quarter. It was a narrative. So you're looking for a star in the narrative box. If your student does not have one there, they need to get that to me as soon as possible. That was something we did. I gave them time in class to do, and it should be complete. Also, the only other thing we're looking for to be complete in the writing section is 1 peer edit. We did 1 together in class. The kids should have that in. If they don't, then they need to get that into me. They might have 2 or 3 peer edits. That's because they've been asked by other kids, and that's great. But you want to make sure they have at least 1 of them by this time of the year. All right, so that's writing. Just those 2 things we're looking for to be completed. Let's go back up to the 4 main areas of language arts, and let's drill down into the language section. This is where the skills are buried. These are where kids have to learn certain skills and take tests on them. The first tile is the one we're looking to be completed. It's the grammar part 1. And if we drill down into that one, we're going to find 3 different tests that they should have taken. A test on verb moods, a test on gerunds, participles, and infinitives, and then a test on the active and passive voice. And if they have stars like this perfect student does, that's good because they should be done by now. If they don't have stars, you should ask your student about it and have him or her get to work on that. So that's grammar part 1, should be done. The only other thing in this section that should be done is the root words. I assigned that on one of the Wednesdays we had in class, and it was a real quick, easy assignment. The kids should have completed that. All right, so root words should be done too. These other 2 we're going to still be working on for the rest of the year. So that's what they should have done in the language section. So let's go back up. And let's look at the last section in ELA level 8. It is speaking. And when we drill down into that, we see that we've done some Friday discussions. By the time you watch this video, we'll have done 7 of them. So let's open that up and take a peek, and you can see by the time I made this video, we only had 6, but there will be 7 by the time you see this video. So you should look at those and make sure they have all those done. If they don't have all those done, it's okay. We're going to do probably about 30 of them this year, and they really only need 15 of them to be proficient. So if they miss 1 or 2, it's okay. But they should have them done if they've been here and taken part in those discussions. So let's go back up. So we're looking for about 6 or 7 Friday discussions done. We're also looking for a star on media analysis. That was an assignment we did in class. It was assigned, and they should have completed that. So if they don't have a star on media analysis, you should ask about that. And then finally, the only other thing they should have done is this very first presentation tile. They're going to need to do 4 presentations before they can get out of this level and get into level 9. But we've done 1 so far. We had a debate week the last week before the quarter ended, and they should have done that debate and gotten their presentation standard for that. So we're looking for Friday discussions, we're looking for media analysis, and presentation. 1 presentation to have been done. So let's go back up. That's pretty much everything that we've done so far this quarter. I do want to show you one quick look at their snapshot, which is a great place to go if you'd like more information about some of those standards and some of those activities that they did. So to get to the snapshot, you take your cursor and you go up to this Empower word, and you click on the Empower word, and then you'll get this screen that comes up. And if you scroll down the screen to Progress Reporting, Student Snapshot, and you click on that tile, then your snapshot will pop up. I happen to have access to all the students in school. When you do it, you'll just see the student that you're in charge of. So I'm going to go back to my perfect student and look at his snapshot. So let's go to ELA is the content area we're talking about, and it's level 8 that we're talking about. So I click on that box, and then below will appear all the standards a little more organized than in those tiles. And you can see all the stuff that they've already done. And the reason I want you to see this snapshot is because it gives you deeper information about stuff. So for example, let's look at the root words. Root words was due, it'll tell you the due date here. And also we can look at the book report. Not only in the other one it just has a star on the book report, but here you can see that the book report was actually on the book called Malala. Right? And then if you drill down farther to language standards, you can find scores on all of those tests. The other tiles just tell you whether they were done or not, but it doesn't tell you their specific score. So you can see that this student had a 97% on the active passive voice test, an 89% on gerunds, participles, and infinitives test, and 100% on the verb moods test. So that's more information that might help you. Then it also will tell you when they write their narrative, it'll actually give you the title of the narrative that they wrote. So you'll be able to ask your students specifically about that narrative. This is a great way to look, and it's sort of the whole level in a nutshell. And by the end of the year, hopefully, your student will be proficient in every single one of these standards, because they can't move on to level 9 until they have completed all the standards in level 8. So that's the progress check for first quarter. I hope that was helpful. I hope you know what to look for now, and I hope we can keep your students being successful on task and keep proceeding towards graduation level. Thanks and goodbye.